What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today, I've returned back to my home territory here at Bentley Atlanta to take a look at a very special vehicle. This is the 2021 Bentley Continental Mulliner GT. Now, this Mulliner GT takes the level of detail that you find in the standard model and takes it to a whole nother level. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, what is Mulliner, or who is Mulliner, and how is this car more rare and exclusive than the standard GT? Well, let me explain. Mulliner are known to be the world's oldest coach builders. They started off in the 16th century as a saddle business, then they moved on to the horseless carriage, and in 1959 they moved into Bentley's factory, providing the utmost level of customization to their customers. So what you're gonna find in this Mulliner GT is a level of detail that cannot be found in the standard Continental GT. So the level of detail in this vehicle is unmatched compared to the standard models in the Bentley fleet. This particular Mulliner GT has been finished in a beautiful beluga paintwork. The interior hide is a hot spur, provides an excellent contrast. This is truly a remarkable vehicle. So today I want to take a look at the exterior and interior details of this 2021 Bentley Continental GT Mulliner, see what makes it special, and see how this ride has been engineered for excellence. Starting the review off at the front, one of the first things you're going to notice about this Mulliner GT that's different from the standard GT is that it doesn't feature the traditional matrix grille. Instead, what you're getting is a more intricate design. This is referred to as Bentley's double diamond grille. And if you get up close on it, it kind of has a three-dimensional effect that provides some extra depth and definition to the vehicle. Now, coming to the sides, of course, you have LED headlamps with the intricate crystal cut-like design. I love these matrix headlamps because it takes the design and definition of the vehicle to another level with the amount of detail that's been incorporated in it. Now, underneath the hood, this is a V8 model. So what you're gonna find is a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 producing 542 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. That's connected to a dual clutch transmission that's 8-speed, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and then a top speed of 198 miles per hour. Now, had this been a W12 model, what you would find underneath the hood is a 6-liter twin turbocharged W12 producing 626 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque connected to that same dual clutch 8-speed automatic transmission. Your 0 to 60 time would fall from 3.9 seconds to 3.6, and your top speed would go from 198 miles per hour to 207 miles per hour. So both the W12 and V8 models are fast. It really just depends on what you want. Let's go ahead and check out the side profile. When you look at the Continental GT Mulliner from the side, there's quite a bit going on here, and I want to talk to you first about the overall aesthetics of the vehicle. So the first thing that you're going to notice are these sharp lines that go from the front all the way to the rear of the vehicle, give it some definition, especially with these rear haunches here. These sharp lines are incorporated in the vehicle using an aerospace engineering technique called superforming, where the metal is heated up to 500 degrees Celsius and then blown over a male or female portion using gas pressure, creating these complex shapes. So it allows you to get these sharp lines and complex shapes in the vehicle without using any seams or welds in the vehicle's bodywork, and the result is absolutely remarkable. I think you would agree. Now, since this is the Mulliner edition, you're getting a silver finish on your side view mirror caps. Those pop out really well. And then your wing vents are finished in that intricate double diamond detail that we saw on the grille with Mulliner lettering. I think that looks really nice. Now, what really sets this car off are the 22-inch 10-spoke wheels on this vehicle. It features a staggered setup, 275 up front, 315 in the rear. Your brake rotors up front are 16.5 inches in diameter, grasped by 10 piston calipers, and your brake rotors in the rear are 15 inches in diameter, grasped by 4 piston calipers. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the wheels. They are 22 inches and feature a remarkable duotone finish, so they are polished and painted as well, which provides an excellent sense of depth. Now, I've reviewed quite a few Bentley vehicles, and one question I get often is, how come Bentley doesn't do the floating center cap so that the B always remains upright? A lot of people even tell me that that's a missed detail. Well, here's the thing. On special edition vehicles like this one, Bentley allows the center caps to remain upright. So that way it remains exclusive. They're not going to put it on the entire range because that's not a feature that they want to be watered down. So I think the Mulliner model definitely is deserving of the floating center caps, and that Bentley B remains upright, so everybody's gonna know what you're riding in when they see you on the street. Now I wanna talk to you a little bit about the driving dynamics of the vehicle. Compared to the second generation GT, the wheelbase on this model has been extended by 4.8 inches to give you an even smoother ride. We know that extending the wheelbase positively impacts the longitudinal acceleration of the vehicle because it effectively lowers your center of gravity. And when the vehicle's in motion, inertial forces are going to pass through that center of gravity. But since the wheelbase has been extended and your CG is lower, you're going to feel changes and forces and shifts and bumps a lot less because the center of gravity has been lowered, giving you an ultra smooth ride that Bentleys are known for. This vehicle also features a variable all-wheel drive system. So gone is the torsion all-wheel drive system of the previous generation that gave you a fixed 40-60 split. What you're getting here is a variable all-wheel drive system. So in Bentley in comfort mode, it's able to send up to 38% of the power to the front wheels. But if you drop it into sport mode, it's only going to send 17% of the power to the front wheels, giving you a rear biased feel. So it's going to give you a more sporty feel while pushing this vehicle on curvy and fun roads. In addition to that, the Bentley Continental GT also features Bentley Dynamic Ride, which we first saw appear in the Bentayga when it was initially introduced. Bentley Dynamic Ride is essentially a 48-volt active roll control system. It applies actuators on the vehicle's anti-roll bars to keep the vehicle level during twists and turns when driving aggressively. This is a heavy vehicle, so you want to have that sensation of being planted comfortably on the road while doing aggressive driving. So there's a lot of technology packed into this vehicle to not only make it look good, but also handle exceptionally well. Taking a look at this Continental GT from the rear, it's just as gorgeous as what you see up front. It's been finished nicely. Look at the way the roofline tapers into the trunk lid. It's seamless, it's smooth, it's exceptional, and the way that the integrated spoiler fits flush with the car's bodywork really looks nice as well. Taking a look at the tail lamps, they feature that same crystal cut-like effect that you saw in the headlamps. So again, I love the way Bentley pays attention to the intricate detail in every part of their vehicles. Now coming to the center portion of the trunk lid, you'll notice you have Bentley lettering. If you don't like that, you can remove that as an option and just have the Bentley badge there. Your storage space is about 12.6 cubic feet of storage, so you're still getting that practicality with awesome performance as well. Coming lower, this is a V8 model as I previously stated, so you're getting the quad exhaust tips that go nicely against this beluga paintwork. Let's go ahead and check out the vehicle's interior. When you step inside the Mulliner Continental GT, the first thing that you're going to notice are the Mulliner illuminated door sills. I think that's a really nice touch. Sets it apart a little bit from the standard Continental GT. But overall, the fit, finish, and use of materials and just the overall execution of design is perfection in this vehicle. Starting at the top of the dash, it's covered in a smooth and supple beluga leather hide. Really looks nice. You also have a contrast gray hide going across the dash here. Coming lower, you do have Bentley's famous rotating display. This is a 12.3-inch touchscreen system. Has all the features that you could ever want, including Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's quick and responsive, easy to use. I've done a full video covering this display, so be sure to check that out. But what I love most about this display is the rotating feature. So if I don't want a touchscreen in my face, I simply hit this screen button and it rotates and gives me 3 analog gauges. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the old school Bentleys. So I have a temperature gauge, a compass, and a chronometer. Really looks nice and classy. One thing I can appreciate is that 10 years from now, the touchscreen won't date this car because you can have these analog gauges here if you please. But I do love this black grand veneer finish. This piano black grand veneer finish looks remarkable in this vehicle, and you have the Mulliner touches here. So you have a silhouette of the GT, and then again the Mulliner lettering going really nicely over there. Now I do like the organ stops that go well with your air conditioning vents. These are the bullseye air conditioning vents. Everything in here is metal, so it's nice and cold to the touch. And then it has a diamond milled technical finish in the center console. Really looks exquisite and matches the caliber of what you should find in a vehicle that costs $300,000. Now in the center console, you notice you have your air conditioning controls with digital screens inside them to let you know what temperature your air conditioning is set at. I've always loved that feature. Of course, you have your seating controls, so 3 levels of heating and cooling. Everything has just been executed really nice in here, with the gear selector that's been wrapped in leather and features the metal finishes as well. And then your engine start stop button has a rotating portion around it that features the Bentley knurling. So the knurling is all throughout this vehicle. Overall, the execution and placement of buttons does have a slight learning curve, but you will get used to it relatively quickly once driving this vehicle. Now, this rotating dial I mentioned controls your different driving modes. Like we mentioned before, there's a sport mode, there's a Bentley mode, a comfort mode, and a custom mode, and that alters how the vehicle handles, specifically that variable all-wheel drive system we mentioned before. Coming further back, you have additional storage here, 2 cup holders, and then storage in the center console with 2 USB ports as well. Coming over to the seats, these are 20-way adjustable seats. They feature 3 levels of heating and cooling, as I previously mentioned, and of course they give you your massage options as well. Now, this is a special vehicle, so it gets the Mulliner embroidery. This is just really nice. I love the hot spur hide that it's been finished in. Really pops out against that black and provides some excellent contrast. Now, it also features the Bentley Diamond and Diamond stitching from Mulliner. This is a Mulliner special edition vehicle, so of course you have to have that option. This Diamond and Diamond embroidery took Bentley 18 months to perfect. Each diamond features 712 stitches. So between the diamonds on the seats and then the diamond embroidery on the door panels, there's over 2 miles of stitching in this vehicle. That is true attention to detail. You're talking over 400,000 stitches of embroidery in this vehicle. Where else are you gonna find that? Coming over to the steering wheel, is finished in a black perforated leather and also features the contrast hot spur hide. And again, the steering wheels are stitched by hand. Takes 8 hours to stitch a single Bentley steering wheel. Of course, behind the steering wheel, you do have metal shift paddles that have a knurled finish, so you get a nice tactile feedback when grabbing these paddles and driving aggressively in sport and manual mode. That's really fun in this vehicle. And then of course you have a digital instrument cluster, which is configurable. You can throw your navigation up there as well, just in case you want the navigation here and the analog gauges here. So again, having this 12.3-inch display in the center console is fully optional. It's up to you. Coming over to the door panels, finishing that beluga hide with the contrast silver accents, and then that black veneer really looks nice and classy. I love the Bentley B logo that just sits at the back of this veneer. Really looks nice. And then of course, again, you have that diamond and diamond embroidery that's been done with contrast stitching, which is something you typically don't see in the Continental GT. But since this is a Mulliner edition, they threw the book at it and gave you the contrast stitching there as well. Your door handles are metal and feature that same knurling on the inner portion of the door handles. So even the last thing you touch when you leave this car gives you a high sense of quality. Coming further down, you have controls for all 4 windows, your side view mirrors, 2-position seat memory, and then of course some storage on the bottom of the door as well. Overall, this interior is immaculate. Between the grand black veneer, the Breitling clock, you even have a panoramic roof in this vehicle, which hasn't always been an option in the Continental GTs. I'm glad to see the panoramic roof there now with an electronic shade as well. But overall, this vehicle is just immaculate. It is easily, by far, one of my favorite cars. Let's go ahead and take this one out for a ride. All right, guys, we are in this Mulliner Continental GT. This is truly a special car. Isha, what do you think about the special features?
I think it's pretty awesome. I had to definitely ask you what were the different features.
Right.
I started seeing some of them, but now that you've pointed them out, it definitely makes a different...
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. So I've driven the Bentley Continental GT V8 and W12 models. I've done videos on both of those. Let me just... I just had to do it one time.
Okay.
But if you want to see, right? But if you want to see me drive those 2 cars more in depth, check out those videos. This is a special edition car, so we're going to keep this short. One of the things you notice once you're in here is how remarkably quiet the interior is. They've done quite a few steps to obtain such a quiet interior. The tires are insulated to reduce road noise, and the wheel wells have been lined with felt, so that way if you run over rocks or leaves, you're not going to hear it inside the cabin.
Wow.
That's attention to detail.
Yeah.
So you notice anything special about this Continental GT that you haven't seen in a previous Continental GT we've test driven?
Gosh, really? Oh, the sunroof.
Panoramic roof.
Oh, that's like, come on, that could be anything.
Nah, I always get that question. You know, when is Bentley going to start doing panoramic roofs in the Continental GTs? And as you can see, it's now available as an option.
In the Mulliner option?
In the Mulliner and standard GT models.
Right.
Right. So that's something that just allows a little bit more light in the cabin if you want to. And there's also an electronic shade that covers that. So that way, if it's a hot day, you're not baking inside your vehicle.
Gotcha.
But this is truly an amazing machine. One of the things I like most is how these cars smell.
Oh, gosh. You and your leather test.
Yeah, it passes the smell test. The leather in here, super fresh. You hear the exhaust?
I hear the crackles.
This is just such an incredible machine. And driving it in manual mode, that's why I like the V8 more, because it just feels a little bit more lively than the W12. The W12 is really, really smooth and has a lot of power, but the V8 feels a little bit more nimble. And that's probably because, you know, there's a little bit less weight up front. So that definitely impacts the overall handling of the vehicle. But when it comes to Grand Touring coupes, I really think that this interior overall is unmatched. I mean, with the quality and the craftsmanship, with Bentley, the execution, you have the diamond embroidery on the seats and on the door panels. You have this rotating display composed of over 40 moving parts. 2 independent gearboxes make this all work smoothly. So it's a very complex design, but I love the way that you can just hide the screen when you don't want that technology in your face, giving you that architecture dominance, technology subservience. This is truly beautiful.
I don't have anything to say. It's
just wild, huh?
Yeah, it's a nice vehicle. I like some of the detailing that they did put in here from how the center console, the
diamond finish.
Yeah, but it's raised, so it's not flat.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Sometimes you'll see this in other vehicles, and it's just like it's just a gradient.
Yep.
It's flat.
Yep.
But this is actually raised.
It's got that 3-dimensional effect, kind of like what you see in the double diamond grille up front, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So you know, I was gonna say they brought it from the outside to the inside. You know, it carries throughout the entire vehicle. Like you said, the diamond stitching on the door panels, on the seats as well. It's here on the center console.
Yep.
You know, it's just done very well.
I mean, it's like, how many diamonds are in this car?
I know, right? I mean, they're even here.
I know. So the knurling effect is translated throughout. Even on this knob here that lets you select your driving mode, you'll find the knurling. So
now it's find the diamonds.
Right. And of course, the back seats have that same diamond treatment that the front seats have.
The cool thing about this, though, that I haven't noticed in some of the other GTs is I know that this car is curved. However, they've made it stand out in the back by putting this on the curve.
Yes.
So you literally feel like I'm in a booth.
Right. Right. And the shape of the diamond embroidery actually changes if you look closely.
I can see that. Like it's I've never noticed that on any other GT, and they're shaped the same. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, just the attention to detail for me is what does it. That's what makes Bentley like one of my favorite brands, because, you know, it's still sporty. You still get the performance, but you also get that luxury aspect that makes it just an awesome Grand Touring machine. A Grand Tourer is supposed to let you travel at high speeds over long distances and be extremely comfortable while doing all of that. And this car does an excellent job of doing all 3 of those aspects. So the steering doesn't feel too light at all. You know, it feels like a sports GT should, right? It's not too light. Sometimes having a steering that's a little too light can kill the experience because it makes the steering feel a little artificial. And touch these shift paddles. behind here.
Oh, there it is again.
You see it?
Yeah,
and
that's nice.
and the door handles as well. Grab the door handles, the interior portion.
Gee whiz.
Exactly. Wow, right?
Oh, and then it has your cold to touch.
Cold to the touch, so you know it's real. Yep. A good friend of mine told me when it comes to these cars, if it looks like leather, it's leather. If it looks like wood, it's wood. If it looks like metal, it's metal. And that's what you get when you're paying $300,000 for a vehicle. And then we just do a quick pull. I love hearing that exhaust breathe. Man, this car, if you are in the market for this, buy this car.
It was smooth.
Buy this car. I mean,
still had to hold on, but it was smooth.
Yeah, it's got the hold on to your butt status for sure. But if you're on the fence about this one, there's nothing not to like about this vehicle. And again, with the Mulliner options, even if you don't get the Mulliner edition, you can still opt out of the Mulliner specification and still get options like the diamond and diamond embroidery.
Gotcha.
They can still customize the car to meet your needs. Whatever color, they can provide that. So the customization options are truly limitless. I mean, even at idle, this thing just sounds good to me, really. All right, you ready for another quick pull?
Okay.
You holding on to your butt?
Yeah.
Wow. And the brakes, they really just clamp down and keep all that power in check. Like I said, you have 16.5-inch rotors up front. And when you hit the brake pedal, you just stop with confidence.
You didn't see that lady in that little car here?
The i3? Yeah.
This was her. Because she heard something coming. And I looked over at her and she's like,
oh my God.
oh.
So guys, that was just a short, quick drive of this Mulliner edition. Again, I've done full driving videos on the V8 and W12 models if you're interested in that. We've also done the GTC model, the convertible variant of this car, if you're interested in that as well. So be sure to take a look at that. Isha, I want to thank you for driving. All that will be down in the description box below. Yeah, we'll drop it all in the description box below. All right. Thanks for joining me, Isha.
You're welcome.
So that was a brief overview of this 2021 Bentley Continental Mulliner GT. What a remarkable machine. My favorite features on the exterior are the 22-inch wheels. Those look stunning. And then the aluminum finished side view mirror caps that provide a great contrast against that beluga paintwork. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments section. But overall, I truly think that this Mulliner GT provides the level of detail that Bentley is known for. I want to give a special thanks to Bentley Atlanta for having me over. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves.